Hello my fellow oddities, welcome to a new video. Today we are doing the first part 2 to one of these Discord suggestion videos. We are doing a sequel to the first video I made on the Mortal Kombat movie pitches, and that was the first movie in this trilogy that I'm now going to make. This is the second movie, and eventually I will do a third movie, which will be probably the finale. And if you couldn't tell, I'm sick right now, my voice is a little different, and that's why I didn't upload a video last week. But now, this week, I'm going to be uploading 4 videos, so, yeah, get ready for that. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll definitely want to watch my future content. Easiest way to do that is by subscribing and turning on the notification bell. It would also be really nice if you gave this video a like and comment down below your thoughts on my Mortal Kombat movie pitch. Anyways, we have a lot to cover here, so let's just get straight into it. For this sequel, it'll be picking up right after the previous movie because that kind of ended on a cliffhanger, so we have to actually show what happened after that. And if you haven't seen the previous video talking about the first movie in the series, then I highly suggest you watch it before this one because it's kind of important. But anyway, starting with Act 1, this will pick up, of course, right after the previous movie, where Outworld was invading the Shaolin Temple after Liu Kang had won. Basically, there's this entire army of Charcottans and generic Outworld warriors, as well as like giant freakish creatures because it's Outworld. But along with that will be some actual characters from the Mortal Kombat franchise that were playable at some point, and that includes Kitana, Mileena, Jade, Reiko, Baraka, Reptile, Kintaro, Shang Tsung, and of course Shao Kahn. Now most of these characters were featured in the previous movie, but there are some newcomers like Reiko, Kintaro, and Shao Kahn. Speaking of newcomers, the hero side, the Earthrealm side, has 2 new characters to introduce, Jax and Cabal. They were technically at the end of the previous movie, but now we're including them in actual, full character roles. Now, the Outworld side is absolutely massacring this temple, and it really frustrates Liu, who has to watch all of his Shaolin brothers die in front of his face. And this visibly makes him more angry and brutal with his enemies, bringing them nearly to death. This is a plot point from MK2 that I don't really see mentioned a lot, and it's why Liu Kang's fatality is actually, well, a fatality. Unlike MK1, which was basically just a heroic brutality, just cartwheel, uppercut, that's it. But anyways, Outworld ends up overpowering the Shaolin Temple and all of the Earthrealmers fairly easily, just because of their size and numbers, also their actual size, and the people, like Shao Kahn, he's a giant. But of course, our favorite god of thunder, no, not him. Or him either. Yep, that one. With the most convenient of timings, as always, comes down and absolutely wrecks the Outworld side because he's a god. They are not. Besides Shao Kahn, he's a god. Don't listen to anyone who says he isn't. Raiden confronts Shao Kahn and asks him, what the heck? We won the Mortal Kombat tournament. Why are you salty? But Shao Kahn explains that Earthrealm has to agree to the terms of a new tournament held in Outworld, or else their realm will be perpetually invaded because invasion is not illegal, but realm merging is. It's just the Elder Gods for you. Raiden reluctantly agrees, and the Outworlders portal away. Liu gets very angry at Raiden for agreeing to this tournament and yells at him, being like, what the heck, I could have dealt with the Outworlders all day, every day. We don't need to agree to this stupid new tournament. But Kung Lao calms down Liu Kang and says that this is the only way, which Raiden agrees with. Jax then gets a call from the Special Forces claiming that Kano had been broken out of prison, which he gets really frustrated about, but Cabal, on the other hand, he gets actually kind of excited because this means he gets an opportunity of revenge because, if you don't remember from the previous video, from the previous movie, Cabal was burned by Kano in this timeline. But we have some new people to introduce, so let's move to the Lin Kuei Temple, where we meet Tundra and Smoke. For anyone who doesn't know, Tundra was the previous codename of Kuai Liang before he became Sub-Zero, which I'll get to later. The Lin Kuei Grandmaster, after hearing that Bi-Han failed to complete his mission and also died, is now sending Kuai Liang to finish that mission and do what his brother could not, but he knows that Kuai Liang doesn't really want to do this mission. He would rather find out his brother's killer, so he sends Smoke to make sure that Kuai Liang isn't doing any funny business. But Tundra then makes it known that he would not like to be called Tundra anymore. Instead, he would like to be called Sub-Zero to honor his brother and also their father and their grandfather's legacy. We then go to Raiden's Sky Temple, where all of the Earthrealm participants are, including Smoke and Sub-Zero, and this is the place where they are being teleported through a portal to Outworld. And that is the end of Act 2. Now, like my previous video, I'm going to be going over some of the character details and arcs that have been set up through the acts. Now, after the previous movie, Liu Kang is getting way more confident, rightfully so. I mean, he defeated Goro and Shang Tsung and became the champion of Mortal Kombat, so I would be a bit more confident too. But it's getting to the point of arrogance, and he's also almost killing the people he's fighting. He's yelling at Raiden, being like, I'm the best, I can defeat anything that comes in front of me. But that's where Kung Lao comes in to kind of ground him a bit. But Kung Lao also has a problem, and he's not confident in himself enough. After the previous movie, he got beat up pretty bad, so he's kind of thinking to himself, oh, I'm not as good as I thought I was. Like, Liu Kang's the best. I'm a failure. But obviously he's not. Kung Lao's a cool character. So they both have to learn to kind of do the opposite thing. Liu Kang become more humble. Kung Lao be more confident in yourself. And then we'll all be happy. And then we have Kuai Liang Sub-Zero, who starts off wanting vengeance for his brother's death. Justifiably so. I mean, my brother died. Probably wouldn't be happy about it either. But vengeance, bad. We'll get to it later on in this video and in this movie pitch. That's really the only 3 character arcs in the movie. I really wanted to focus on mainly Liu Kang and Kung Lao because I wanted this to be kind of a Shaolin monks type of movie, but also Kuai Liang is a pretty important character. He's Sub-Zero, like the actual main Sub-Zero, so you gotta have him in some important role because second most popular character in all of Mortal Kombat, kind of a big deal. But moving on to Act 2, we are in the Netherrealm now, meeting Scorpion, who talks to a mysterious figure in the darkness. And this figure is Quan Chi, but you won't know that in the actual movie. I mean, this movie won't be actually made, but like, I'm making this is for dramatic effect, okay? So just go with it here. Now, this mysterious figure that no one knows is telling Scorpion of Sub-Zero's presence at the tournament, which makes Scorpion go, what? I killed him. How is he back? And this makes him really angry, and he starts getting flashes of what happened at the village, and his Shiryu clan being massacred, and his family dying. And this makes him want to participate in that tournament, and the mysterious figure that no one knows who it is agrees to this and teleports him to Outworld. We then go back to the Earthrealmers, who are wandering through Outworld, kind of figuring out this new environment that they're in, with the giant cosmic looking purple sky and the giant jagged geography and the wastelands. It's just a very different place to normal old Earth. But once they get there, Raiden immediately falls to one knee. Liu Kang is like, what the heck, what's going on? And Raiden explains how in Outworld he is significantly weaker, and instead of it just being a D power, I want to make it like actually kryptonite level. I'm sick, I'm weak, I can't do anything. And this allows Shao Kahn to take advantage and break some of the rules that he probably wouldn't have been able to if Raiden was fully powered. Basically, instead of just having a normal tournament, Shao Kahn sends all of the Earthrealmers out to a random place in Outworld to basically just be assassinated, but he disguises it as, oh, whoever can survive will be able to enter the tournament and actually get a chance at me, the big bad, the big leader of Outworld. If you defeat me, then you win. So Liu Kang ends up being teleported to a random wasteland in Outworld, and he wanders around for a bit and is very confused because, like, this is not a tournament, this is just some weird setup thing. But he eventually finds and meets up with Kung Lao, and they both go on together. Sonya, Jax, and Cabal all have the technology of the Special Forces, so they're just able to track each other, and they meet up in the Living Forest, which is kind of like a maze that they can't really figure out because there's just trees everywhere, and they're blocking the sky, so you can't really see, like, the horizon or anything, so you're just kind of like wandering around. Sub-Zero and Smoke are teleported to a random marketplace in Outworld, which is just dirty, with rodents everywhere, and aggressive townspeople, and poorly made structures and buildings. Just not a fun place to be in. Johnny finds himself by himself inside the Deadpool, which obviously wouldn't be a very fun place to just end up, so he starts freaking out, but then some of the Outworld guards come, and he fights them off, and ends up kicking one of them right into the acid, which freaks him out, and he starts running away, but the guards start chasing it. We then go back to Liu Kang and Kung Lao, and they're just wandering around, but then Kung Lao is hit by 2 sais in his back, and he's like, ow, what the heck? Turns around, Mileena, Kitana, and Jade are all trying to fight and assassinate the 2 monks. So Liu, being the confident one he is, fights off Mileena and Kitana at the same time, while Kung Lao fights Jade. Liu punches Kitana to the ground and begins fighting Mileena one-on-one, and ends up punching her in the face so hard that her mask comes off and reveals her tarcottan teeth, and Liu Kang is just taken aback by this, like, what the heck, I was not expecting that, which allows Mileena to bite him in the shoulder and latch onto him. Kung Lao tries to save Liu Kang, but he's held back and put in like a chokehold with the staff by Jade. But then a fan comes around and slashes Mileena in the face, and Kitana grabs her fan and defeats Mileena in combat. And everyone is kind of confused by this, and Jade is like, what the heck, why'd you betray us? I'm not gonna fight you though, I'm out of here. Liu Kang gets up and asks, why did you help us? And Kitana explains that she's really just had enough of Outworld, and she's realized how much of a evil person Shao Kahn is, and this whole Mileena thing and realizing her sister was an absolute monster kind of just sealed the deal for her. We then go back to Sonya, Jax, and Cabal, who are just standing around arguing about where to go next and how to get out of this giant forest with faces on the trees, and then suddenly they hear the cocking of a gun, which isn't good, so Cabal grabs Sonya and Jax and runs them away far from the danger. But then a huge army of Black Dragon come out of hiding and point their guns directly at the 3 of them, and they're all led by Kano, who is very much satisfied by the current situation. Now, obviously, this is not a good situation to be in, so Cabal does the last thing he can think of and starts tuning something on his gas tank, which is the thing that keeps him alive, and it just starts spraying gas everywhere, and now no one can see anything because it's thick and it's I gotta get it out of my face. And so with all the Black Dragon being pretty disoriented, the Earthrealmers start picking them off one by one, and by the time the gas clears, about 75% of all of the Black Dragon are now out for the count. And so Cabal and Sonya start fending off the remaining Black Dragon, while Jax fights Kano. But Kano does manage to get the better of Jax by lasering a tree in half, which falls over and crushes Jax. After finishing off the last of the Black Dragon, Sonya goes to help Jax, while Cabal finally gets to have his fight with Kano that he's been wanting. And it goes pretty well for Cabal because he has superpowers that are actually like good, while Kano just has a pew-pew eye. Cabal ends up being way too fast to actually keep up with, and Cabal takes his hook swords and stabs him into Kano's heart directly. Kano starts bleeding everywhere, starts spitting up blood. Cabal rips him out. Kano falls to one knee, and Cabal, assuming that Kano is done for, goes over and starts helping Jax, but Kano is not quite out yet and uses his laser eye to laser the gas canister on the back of Cabal, which explodes, and now Cabal can't breathe. Sonya points her ring wrist blast thingy at Kano, but he is teleported away, assumingly by Outworld, by Shao Kahn, one of those people. And Sonya and Jax try to help Cabal, but there's really nothing they can do, and Cabal dies. We go back to Johnny, who has managed to escape the guards, but he finds himself in the armory with Reiko. And that place, coupled with this character, not a good situation for Johnny Cage to be in. So they have this really cool battle where they're picking up random weapons from the armory and hitting each other with it. But Reiko is a tactician, he's a general, while Johnny is just like a Hollywood martial arts actor. So Reiko ends up getting the better of Johnny, picks him up, and throws him through the wall of the armory. And this is where we find out that the armory is actually inside of Khan's temple, several hundred stories up. So, yeah, Johnny starts falling to his death. But this is noticed by Smoke and Sub-Zero on the ground, and Smoke throws one of his smoke thingies, and it goes over, it catches Johnny in the air, teleports him safely onto the ground. We then go back to Liu Kang and Kung Lao as they are being guided to the Coliseum by Kitana because she knows where it is, and that's kind of where all of the big fights will occur, so kind of an important place for them to be. But 2 characters stand in their way, Baraka and Reptile, who reprimand Kitana for betraying Outworld. But the monks and Kitana quite easily defeat Baraka and Reptile. At this point, they're not really too big of threats. We then go back to Sub-Zero, Smoke, and Johnny Cage as they're wandering through the marketplace, not really talking to each other because Johnny is annoying. But then something catches the eye of Sub-Zero, and that is Shang Tsung, who he charges at, hits him onto the ground, stomps on his chest so he can't get up, and asks, "Who killed my brother?" Shang, knowing what Sub-Zero's actual mission is, explains that it was Scorpion who did it, and not Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung does not want to die, and he tries to get Sub-Zero a little bit distracted by claiming, and this is right, actually it's the truth, that Scorpion is on the island, and then something catches the eye of Shang Tsung on the top of a rooftop. Watching this whole time has been Scorpion, and Sub-Zero, noticing that Shang Tsung's just looking off into the distance, looks up, sees Scorpion, and immediately locks eyes with him, doesn't break eye contact, and starts walking towards him. And Smoke, knowing that this is not what Sub-Zero is supposed to do, tries to stop him, but Sub-Zero, not even breaking eye contact, fights off Smoke while not even looking at him. Once he defeats Smoke, Sub-Zero immediately starts bolting for Scorpion, even just climbing up the buildings because he's a ninja. Well, not a ninja, he's an assassin, but basically the same thing. And just kind of climbs it super fast, trying to get to Scorpion. Sonya and Jax then stumble upon this whole situation with a very confused Johnny, and they just decide, how about we leave this all to whatever they're doing and just go to the Coliseum. So Sonya, Jax, Johnny, Katana, Liu, and Kung Lao all arrive at the Coliseum at the very same time. Shao Kahn sees them all and sees Katana as like, "Guards, go get her." They detain her, which makes Liu Kang even more angry than he already was at Shao Kahn. Liu challenges Shao Kahn directly, but Kahn is like, "Nope, you're gonna go through some of my other guys first, and then you can have me." And that is the end of Act 2. For the character arcs, it's kind of just building upon what we already established in Act 1, and the characters actually acting on their desires, what they really want. Liu Kang is just going through Outworlders, defeating everyone in his path, just so he can get to Shao Kahn, because he's very angry at him, and he wants to prove to everyone that he is able to defeat the Emperor and the God of Outworld. While Kung Lao is just kind of along for the ride with Liu Kang, but he is getting confidence just kind of being around him and being together and working together to get to Shao Kahn. And Sub-Zero is getting exactly what he wants, a chance at vengeance, a fight with Scorpion. This act starts off with a montage of all of the Earthrealmers either being defeated or defeating their enemies. But they are slowly defeated one by one. First Jax, then Sonya, and then Johnny, leaving the only two left to be Liu Kang and Kung Lao, who defeat all of the opponents in this part of the tournament. Shang Tsung doesn't really know what to do because they didn't expect two people to come out as the victor of that section of the tournament, so he kind of asks Shao Kahn, like, "What do we do?" And Shao Kahn smiles and confidently says, "Let me take both of them." But before we get to that, let's go back to Sub-Zero and Scorpion, who are battling. Scorpion using all of the rage because he still believes that this is Bi-Han. He thinks somehow Bi-Han came back from the dead. Say somehow, but Scorpion is literally the one who came back from the dead. But whatever. But Sub-Zero is being a little more tactical, a little more skillful in his fighting. He's just overall more composed, and he's getting the bigger shots in, which gets him the victory over Scorpion, defeating him. Sub-Zero has Scorpion backed up here, so he creates his ice sword, ready to deliver the finishing blow. But Scorpion has one more quite literal trick up his sleeve, as he takes out his kunai and slap! Oh, God! Oh, I didn't mean to actually hit it. Ah, God. You know what, let's just redo this part. Sub-Zero has Scorpion backed up here, so he creates his ice sword, ready to deliver the finishing blow, but Scorpion has a quite literal trick up his sleeve as he takes out his kunai and slashes Sub-Zero in the eye, hard enough to knock his mask off. Scorpion sees that this is not Bi-Han, this is some other guy. So Scorpion asks who he is, and Sub-Zero says that, "I'm Kuai Liang, I'm here to avenge my brother's death, who you killed, aka Bi-Han." Scorpion kind of realizes how similar this whole situation is to him and Bi-Han previously. Just a character who wants to get revenge for killing a family member. Or, Scorpion's case, it was multiple family members. And Scorpion feels bad for this, realizing what he's done and the endless cycle of vengeance and death that he's basically created. So he decides he does not want to fight anymore. Sub-Zero takes this opportunity to slash Scorpion's leg, send him to the ground, and put his sword to his throat. But he can't kill him. He just can't bring himself to kill an unarmed and unwilling to fight man. And now Sub-Zero is starting to see that endless cycle of death caused by revenge. So he takes his ice sword, breaks it in half, and leaves Scorpion be. Scorpion nods at this and teleports away, leaving Sub-Zero by himself. We then go back to Liu Kang and Kung Lao, who are fighting Kintaro, and with his 4 arms, it's not as hard as if he just had 2. But Kung Lao and Liu Kang kind of realize that while yes, Kintaro has double the amount of arms, he doesn't have the 2 brains that can work together like theirs can. So they figure it all out. They manage to distract Kintaro enough to really just defeat him together. Shaolin Monks. Title card. Now once Kintaro is defeated, Liu tries to go in for the kill. But Kung Lao stops him because they want to uphold their Shaolin beliefs. Liu reluctantly stops himself, but that's when Shao Kahn stands up, removes his cape, and now he is the one they must fight. Liu Kang and Kung Lao together face Shao Kahn. And they get absolutely dominated. Shao reacts to their punches like it's nothing and is hitting them with heavy blows. Kung Lao even throws his hat at Shao Kahn, and instead of cutting into him, just bounces off. Shao stomps them into the ground, throws them around the Coliseum, pummels their face, all while laughing maniacally. Liu is tired and he falls to one knee, but Shao sees this as an opportunity. He gets out his spear, throws it into Liu Kang's leg, pinning him to the ground. Now Kung Lao, he tries to help, but Shao Kahn yells out, "I challenge you, Kung Lao. Fight me and avenge your ancestor." This is awkward. Can we move on to the next? And Kung Lao does not back down from this challenge and fights Shao Kahn one-on-one. Now instead of using direct power, Kung Lao starts using his speed and agility to fight Shao Kahn, and it works very well for him, being able to dodge a punch and then counter him every single time. And then Shao Kahn gets his hammer out and swings it heavily, but Kung Lao teleports out of the way, and while Shao Kahn is swinging like this, Kung Lao comes in with a punch, just going boom. And that one rocks Shao Kahn and stumbles him back. This is starting to get really corny. Shao shakes it off and tries to punch Kung Lao, but Kung Lao teleports behind him and grabs onto his back. Kung Lao then takes his hat off, throws it right in front of Shao Kahn's face, and it starts spinning mid-air. And then Kung Lao uses his leverage to push Shao Kahn's face into the spinning hat, and it starts cutting into him. It splits Shao Kahn's helmet, cuts into his face, and it starts bleeding everywhere. Blood splattering all over Kung Lao, all over Shao Kahn, all over the ground, just all over everything. And Shao Kahn is grunting and almost screaming in pain, and the Earthrealmers start cheering, thinking that Kung Lao is winning, and this distracts Kung Lao just enough for Shao Kahn to grab Kung Lao, slam him headfirst into the ground, and break his neck. But don't worry, Kung Lao is not dead, just paralyzed. Not dead yet. Shao Kahn spits blood onto the ground and then looks over Kung Lao's body as Liu Kang is screaming, trying to get this spear out of his leg. And then Shao Kahn lifts his foot and stomps it down into Kung Lao's head, killing him. Yeah, I know, Kung Lao dies again, but guys, it's for the sake. It's for the sake of the story. Kung Lao has to die. I see it now. I see the vision when people are always killing off Kung Lao. I see it now. As a creator of Mortal Kombat movies myself, well, pitching Mortal Kombat movies, I can see the vision now of why Kung Lao has to die every time. It's only okay when I do it though. Liu Kang then shoves the spear out of his leg and jumps up and does the flying kick right to Shao Kahn's chest, and that breaks his ribs, makes him struggle to breathe, goes down on one knee, and then Liu Kang goes in. Uppercut, then cartwheel, uppercut. That's a reference to previously in this video. Shao Kahn flies into the air and smashes down on the hard floor. Liu jumps on top of Shao Kahn and starts beating him to a bloody pulp until his face is unrecognizable. And he just beats him and beats him and beats him, bringing Shao Kahn to the brink of death. And then he summons a dragon around his fist to deliver the final fatal blow. But then he remembers what Kung Lao just said to him with Kentaro, and what Kung Lao's been saying to him throughout this entire day, that killing is wrong and you should uphold the Shaolin beliefs that makes you who you are. And Kung Lao would not want Liu to kill Shao Kahn, even if it was for vengeance or revenge. So Liu puts his fist down, takes the dragon away, and stands up, now the champion of Mortal Kombat once more. And the movie fades to black with all of the Earthroamers standing over Kung Lao's body. And that's it, guys. What did you think of my Mortal Kombat 2 movie? This was such a fun experience, was it? But yeah, the final arcs of all the characters got pretty obvious there, with Liu Kang and Sub-Zero kind of having the same arc or same moment there at the end of just realizing vengeance is wrong. But Kung Lao did kind of have a finality to his arc, with him being more confident to face Shao Kahn directly instead of just being a number 2 to Liu Kang. But yeah, definitely comment down below your guys' thoughts on this second movie in this series, and tell me if you like it better or worse than the first movie. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And with that being said, that's it for this video, my fellow oddities. I'll see you next time.